Hello, everyone. Very happy to be with you again for the second day of the Pranic consciousness, the Pranic process online. We've just ended a beautiful meeting at the Pranic Festival with Adam Apollo. I was and am so delighted of the talks in this festival. And now we move into the next session together. We've started yesterday the Pranic process online, and we had our introduction webinar together, and we've explained most of the practices that we're going to do together in this online series of 8 days of beautiful sharing. Tonight, we're going to go deeper into sharing methods and aspects of pranic nourishment, pranic healing, and intaking prana on many levels. We're going to go deeper into exploring what this connection with the pranic field means and how to keep connected within all aspects of our lives. And we're also going to explore how to assess the channels and the media, the sources, that's the term, the sources that we are best to connect to, because not all of the sources that are available to us or sending information to us or energy to us are the ones to connect to. Some of the sources might not be very either well-intended or appropriate for our energy field. So we're going to learn also how to assess and maintain the level of connection that we aim for and that is most beneficial for us. First of all, I want to welcome everybody. I'm going to take a bit of, I'm going to take some moments to send the message to everyone who's supposed to be joining us, and to also wait for people that are meant to be joining to be here. And in the meantime, please let me know in the comments, what do you feel divine communion is? What do you feel the connection with the universe means to you? What do you feel or imagine or think of when you think of divine connection or connecting to the pranic field? What does this mean to you? If you can write in the comments, it would be beautiful. Thank you, Heather. Yeah, I have just sent, for the ones who subscribed to the class already, I have just sent the link on your messenger, so you can join on that link and place all your comments there, because this live streaming is going to just be on for about 15 to 20 minutes. And then we're going to go be with just the people who are already subscribed in the class already. So those of you who want to participate to the whole class, which is 8 days of detox, deep dive into our emotional, mental, and physical detox and healing, and also opening the channels for more prana to flow through us and learning how to go into a lighter diet. This class is available for 8 days. It's called the Pranic Process Online, and it's still open for new people to join in. We're having everything recorded, so that if you cannot join for a session, if you skip a session, you can still be with us and be up to date with what we're doing. And in Facebook, I'm putting the link now in the comments where you can join and participate. And it would be beautiful to have more and more people together in this class, because what it does it is not only lifting and keeping your frequency and vibration high, but with the more of us joining together, it uplifts the frequency of the whole planet. And that's what we've been working on for several weeks already, and of course for my whole lifetime, but for several weeks already, since this whole situation have started on the planet, we had, this is the second Pranic process online that we're doing since the beginning of March. And people have had great results with it. They have reassessed their Pranic intake, have gone deeper into their detox, have gone on juices for a while, and have gone also into this faith and this knowledge that yes, prana can nourish you, and more than that, it can also heal you. So some people have healed from the virus that is now very frequently met on the planet, which is fear. What, did you think I'm going to talk about the flu? No, I'm done with it, and I'm tired of it, or bored of it. That's the word. So fear is the base frequency that is making people being ill, and that is getting people into this lack of connection that can decrease their immune system and lead into illnessness. Because when we're connected, when we're fine-tuned, when we're on track, and we're well all aligned, no illness can get to us. When our immune system is strong, when our faith is strong, when our auric field is strong, and when prana is flowing through us, nothing can get to us. And that's the main benefit and beauty of keeping the pranic field strong. And that's what this class is doing. So check the link in the comments. Thank you, Narada. Thank you, Sonia. Thank you, everyone, for joining. Thank you, Heather, for being with us for the whole class. Thank you, everyone, for being here, your notes, and whoever is online. Just type your questions in the comments where you have me on Facebook. I would love to know what you want to know about prana, pranic nourishment, high frequency, or energy work that you want to learn from this class. It's happy for me, it's happiness for me to be in an interaction, to be in close communication to everyone, and to be able to take questions from you, and to also be able to have you through the whole class. I was sharing yesterday, and I'm going to sum it up tonight for the ones who are joining anew. I was sharing that this class is one meeting per day around 8 or 9 p.m. And it implies us meeting for 1 hour and a half, having a meditation together. Hi, Camilla. Very happy to see you here. I would be happy to see you in the Pranic Festival online as well. You're invited to join us. It's not only about reassessing your field and going on fasting and going on dry fasting and staying without food and for how long and this and that. It's mostly what we're talking about is mostly how to stay in a deeper communion with yourself, how to stay centered, how to stay in that pranic state. That's not only about not eating. You know, not eating is the very tiny portion of it, and it might or might not occur to all of us. The biggest thing of it is the freedom, living free from hunger, living free from fear, and most of all, living free from concepts. That's what we're talking about in this pranic process. That's our aim, that's our focus, and that has been my interest, my focus on my whole pranic journey since I was a kid, and especially since 10 years ago, since I've started in a serious day-to-day practice. So that's why we'll not put everyone into dry fasting or even fasting, and force people to go on juices or suggest that people go fully on juices. Well, even though it's a good thing, and the people who were in the last process were on juices and were having, they had beautiful results with that. So some people have continued after these 8 days and have stayed on juices for a month without us even suggesting that. It was just that the energy was flowing so fluently through their bodies that they didn't need food or solid food. And what we're learning here together is how to stay in tune with that essence inside of us that dictates or guide us what to do and when to take and if to take any external intake. And it will guide you through your process naturally, and it will help you feel into your body and know if it's appropriate for you to take a bite or the whole plate or half of it, or just go on liquids for a while. And it will tell you your inner rhythm of in and out of the state of being a hybrid organism, feeding from outside and inside, and being fully on prana. Let me know if that makes sense to you, and let me know if that's of interest to you. I know most people in the pranic world are racing towards this goal of being food free or not eating anymore ever again. But to me, it's like yet another quest for a superpower, yet another quest for siddhis, like the yogis in the ancient traditions. They call the superpowers like clairvoyance, clairsentient, telepathy, and all that, even the capacity of being nourished by light, by prana, they call them siddhis. And pranic nourishment is just one of the siddhis that are described in the yogic tradition. And there's many others as well. And this is the now the latest trendy thing on the planet, the latest craze. Oh, let's all stop eating. It's beautiful to have this ability when it's naturally and organically coming to you. So my journey, that's why we're not forcing people into fasting ever. We are, however, indicating methods and practices, and also inner attitudes that can lead you into that state of balance that would help you feel fulfilled and not hungry. And if that's your aim, of feeling fulfilled and feeling not hungry on all levels, not only physical, but not hungry at the emotional level, not hungry at the mental level, and being centered. If that's your aim, that this is maybe the process for you to follow. And it's the mildest and most organic method that I followed so far, because to confess, I've been very harsh on myself. That's why I know now that the mildest is the best, or the most organic is the best, because I've been very harsh on myself. Um, and being very harsh on myself has taught me that there's an inner rhythm where you know when to stop being harsh on yourself, and you stop giving tasks to your body from your mind and to force it into doing what your minds wanted to do. And you learn how to feel into your body and be in connection first with your own cells and your own organs and your own systems, especially in the endocrine and everything else, just to know when it's the flow to be food free, and for how many days and for how long and how. And you also know when is the flow to maybe taste something, either water, juice, or solid food, and how much and when to stop. And that's the freedom that I'm talking about. So would you be interested in that, or do you want to just start fasting for as long as you can and maybe deplete your body and your root chakra get in not such a harmonious state, and then not know what to do with your life? Because I've seen many people coming from many processes with very good results, and I honor all my colleagues and friends, and that those of you who know me, I'm organizing all these events or inviting my pranic friends to speak because I'm honoring their journey. And I've seen, like I said, many people coming from processes with good results. But I've also experienced and seen and healed, worked with healing people that were coming out of a process, or several even, which is worse, with deep feelings of being unaccomplished, of having failed, with deep feelings of guilt, with deep feelings of why am I not good enough to be as pranic as everyone else is, and why am I still eating or even binging from time to time. Thank you, Heather. So somebody says, I would like to cultivate the body awareness and trusting, connecting to self through sensation, learning to trust versus forcing. So forcing mostly is what leads people into that state of pushing, pushing, pushing for some days, either 8 or 10 or 21, and then falling from that state into the disappointment of being back home, back in your natural rhythm with not so much spiritual practice, I might say, and with all the ones around you that are eating and not being able to keep that high vibrational state. That's what's disappointing most people. That's what's making them feel that they failed. And that's lowering the vibration even more than food would do. So to be fully honest, that's what's happening in the pranic world in many stages. And that's what I've worked with for many years now. So it was for this that I've written the Pranic World book, and I've got deeper into sharing this process that I'm sharing since 2013, and that I'm organizing the summits and the festivals to help people get into more grounded reality of what pranic nourishment is and means, and how it can be harmoniously tapped into. So see, I'm even avoiding the word attained. I'm even avoiding the word achieved. I'm even avoiding the word, accomplished, because these are all words that are encouraging more and more the achiever mode, the one who is aiming, shooting arrows at something, the one who is not trusting, the one who is wanting for yet another badge on his either spiritual or personal development wall. That's not where you want to go on your pranic path. It's not possible that you tap into this fully when you're in the achievement mode. This is the very thing that keeps you from being in that state. Because pranic state is a state of surrender, is a state of full trust that there's something bigger than you, that is still you, but at a bigger level, that nourishes and holds your body, your physical aspect together. That you're in this matrix that is made of light, that has given and maintaining and developing the shape of your body, that is constantly fueling it and reshaping it into the best shape possible if you are in harmony. Does this make sense? And that this force or energy or source that is breathing your breath or opening your eyes when you wake up or regulating all your processes in your body. And no, I'm not talking about the sympathetic and parasympathetic system. I'm talking about something much deeper than that. Yes, the source or force is going to hold you together if you surrender. And it's going to regulate your weight, it's going to regulate your shape, it's going to regulate all the functions in your body into feeling nourished if you stay connected to it. And that's the main and most important if that we all are to look at. And the talk of tonight and the meditation of tonight, because we're doing also a meditation, is about how to stay connected to that source. And as I was sharing yesterday, each evening or each topic is guided and held by ascended master, spiritual master that has best exemplified that. This evening is under the energy of Kuan Yin, the goddess of compassion from the Asian tradition, which is the equivalent, energetic equivalent of Tara, the energetic equivalent of Mother Mary in the Christian tradition, the energy of kindness and compassion and surrender and grace and profound gentleness and humbleness. That makes me expand even at connecting into it more and more. That has recommended divine surrender, divine communion, universal connection as a means of stepping more into our divine nature and into pranic nourishment and permanent peace. So if you want to go deeper into that, those of you who are on Facebook, check the link in the comments. I'm going to post it again because I know it got lost in the things that have followed after the link. So this is the link where you can join the whole process. We're gonna go off this live call now for the ones on Facebook so that we're fully able to fully concentrate on the participants in our group. I'm just gonna read through your comments to see if anyone has a question or something that we want to focus upon. Communion for me means to be. Of course. Thank you, Yunus. What else does communion mean to you? I'm looking forward for your comments. What does divine communion or universal communion mean to you? And how is that related to pranic nourishment for you? And for the ones that are on the Facebook call, Heather, you might want to check your messenger and go to the link in Messenger to be in our private group, because we're moving out of Facebook just now. Thanks, everyone. So many people joining in still. So another comment, communion is not only being present to what is in the moment, but opening and merging with the energy of nature, channeling through the crown, the divine source energy, relaxing into the divine, opening heart, receiving with vulnerability, living in a state of meditation. And that's very accurate. And thank you for this very beautiful description of what is yet so hard to be described. Indeed, when we are deeper into this, we are able to feel that we're living in a permanent state of meditation. And studies have shown that in that state of constant meditation or being into the alpha theta state, there's something very important happening at the inner level. And this very important thing regulates our whole pranic state. What happens at the inner level when we're in a state of deep meditation or permanent meditation is that more and more melatonin is being secreted by our body, not only in our brains, but also in our digestive system. If we're fasting, it has been shown that it's secreting even more melatonin than our brains. So both gut and brain are sending out more melatonin. This melatonin is regulating the ATP, or the very essence that is nourishing your cells at the physical level, of course, the ATP being the fuel that nourishing your cells. And it's also regulating the hormones of hunger, which are leptin and ghrelin. So one is raising up, the one who's encouraging you to feel satiated, and the hunger hormone is going down. So that's what allows you to keep being in a state of balance while not taking physical food, if and only if you're staying connected to source. So if you're staying in that state of meditation or inner communion to prayer or whatever helps you feel connected, nature and all the other steps that we're sharing that we've talked about yesterday. So for the ones watching on Facebook and maybe hearing for the first time of this, just stopping to eat physical food all at once will not help you be in the pranic state, nor will extended fasting help you by forcing your body and pushing into the pranic state. That won't help you at all. Actually, it will deplete your body, and for some people, they might even die, or some people have actually died trying to be pranic. It's not the way to go. I'm warning you, and I'm warning everyone through my books and through my videos. If you don't have a daily practice or a daily state of communion, whatever takes you there, and you stop eating for a longer period of time, you are depleting your body, and yes, you can die. So it is dangerous. Only through daily practice or daily communion and being in that state of constant inner balance are we able to feel nourished? And are we able to stay in harmony? And are we able to be in that state of grace? And that's important to know. And that's crucial for you to realize so that you don't cause yourself problems by trying to set yet another goal to yourselves. So in this process, we're really going with the organic method, even if it takes longer to some, or even if to some might not bring the end result of being pranic for on just prana for a lifetime, it brings you into a state of being in balance for a lifetime if you practice the things we recommend. And it's the things that I practice for 10 years, and many other colleagues or even the ascended masters have practiced for lifetimes. So it should work. So thanks everyone for watching on Facebook. We're going off now to go with our participants. Follow the links in the comments to be with us, or text me a message on Messenger if you want to participate, and I'm going to tell you how. Big hugs to you. Okay, hopefully Heather and everyone else who's in the class have already moved on YouTube. And I'm back with you and happy to see you on YouTube if you're there. To share a little bit of my experience, and if you have questions, please ask. I have been in this process for 10 years. I was sharing yesterday that yes, I was knowing meditation and I was knowing that we're all energy since I was a kid. But from 18 to 27, something like that, I was deeply into forgetting that. And I totally got into the human way of being. I couldn't say the normal way of being because it's really not normal. But the human way of being would be the right term. So doing all the roles that a human being is doing to feel successful. And it got me into a high imbalance, and I was forced basically to go into repracticing the daily practices that are required to self-regulate your pranic intake. I was forced because otherwise I couldn't be in balance. Thank you for being here, Heather. I wanted to make sure you're seeing us because for some reason I'm not able to see who joins. Yes, so yes, it's important to know that one can die from not doing a daily practice, from not being in harmony with his own field, and from not being able to assess really where he is at his pranic intake. So if we're pushing too much, and if we're trying too hard, the body will just respond with exiting us out. It's just so natural that this happens because body is able to hold spirit in. The physical body is only able to hold spirit in when we're in harmony, when all the body features are functioning and where it's well nourished by any source that nourishes it in a harmonious way. If the body is not well treated and well taken care of, and if our connection to the divine source that is nourishing us is not daily reestablished, because you have to check on it. You might think that you're there, and then something happens at the emotional level, or something happens at your mind level, or something happens in your life or in your energy field that you can't even realize at first, that would detract from being in that state. So what's most important is that you daily check and reassess that connection. First step of all. Second very important thing is to that connection to the divine, I mean, that the connection to your true essence. Second very important thing, or it's not even second, it's one of the very important things, is to be able to check your pranic percentage and know from that state of connection where you are at the pranic level and how much prana really flows through your physical body, through the emotional body, through the mental body, through all your chakras one by one. You can actually check that. The emotional, from what I know, is taking a lot of energy from most of the people, and next best, most powerful energy detractor is the mind. Or actually, they're connected, because if the mind were in balance, then the emotional would self-balance itself naturally. We are in that state, and we know we are in that state when we feel centered and when we feel empowered. If for any reason we feel wishy-washy or unstable or ungrounded or happy, that's the first word that comes. If for any reason we feel any of that, that's a sign that we're not connected. That's a sign that we're not in balance, and that's a sign that something must be done for us to be getting back in balance. We have to step back into balance. And of course, that's why we were sharing the techniques that we shared yesterday of how to get back in balance. It's important to have a set of tools, to open your magic box when you are out of balance, and to see what tool you pick up from there to get back into your balanced state, because otherwise you just, drop. And the set of tools was shared yesterday, and you learn how to apply these tools by day practice. So first you might need discipline to apply these tools and connect with your harmony state, and having certain hours in which you practice meditation, having certain hours in which you practice either yoga or qigong or certain body practices that help you keep connected, having certain hours where you practice or listen to something that feeds your mind with beautiful information, like classes or reading books or something that nourishes you at the mental level. Have certain times when you pamper yourself, certain times when you go out in nature and just take a walk. For me, it was extremely important to go out and walk these days in nature, as I'm spending a lot of time now in front of camera and in online sessions with my one-on-one clients that we're having processes one-on-one with, and with the people who are in the pranic process online, and with the people who are in the festival. There's a lot of computer work and staying with lights in front of me, and that's impacting the neurosystem and all the layers. And going out in nature is essential to be able to reestablish that connection, and to also ground and how to say, release all this charge, this excessive charge from being connected to devices and technology. So it's one of the things that have kept me in balance through the years, and I'm going to share more about it in one of our next webinars. And today, the question is for everyone: how do we stay connected, and how do we get back into that state of connection? Sometimes the most important thing is to be able to really release the toxins in our physical, emotional, and mental, and all the aspects of our energy field as well. Releasing the toxins is actually the first step that I'm always recommending in this class and in everything else. And I'm not only referring to the physical toxins, that you've got from food or air. I'm also referring, or water. I'm also referring to the emotional toxins and mind toxins and everything else. Just releasing, releasing, releasing is going to help us get back into balance, get back into connection. Because when your bodies, physical, emotional, mental, are toxic, are charged, burdened by these toxins on all levels, you're not able to have your prana flowing through. It's just blocked on multiple levels. So how do we do the detox to be back into connection? That would be, of course, the first decent question, no, that we could ask ourselves. So first thing would be to reassess at the physical level what is the quality of the foods that we've fueled ourselves with during the last few years. And if the quality is not being so good, then naturally, as a byproduct, it's necessary that we go into a physical detox. I recommend it in all the levels that I'm sharing. I'm recommending it first doing a parasite detox. Everything you've eaten, especially animal products, might have caused your body to be accumulating parasites. That's the main cause when the belly bloats, or when you feel unease with your digestion, or when you feel cravings. Before even going to the emotional level of cravings, before even going to anything else, and many of my colleagues are sharing this, there's something actually inside your gut system that might be causing you to eat the junk food or the foods that should be eating, or to get back to food when you're on a pranic path. It's something there that is feeling hungry, and it's not you. And that something has to be removed. And the first thing on a pranic path, uh, before anything else, before your spiritual practice and everything else, is just to go into the physical deeper and deeper and just cleanse it. That was at least my path. So doing parasite cleanse with the herbs or the, mixes that you find in your own local organic shop or online in this case, is the first step to take. And also doing a colon cleanse and doing the rebalancing of your gut system, because gut system has been to most people ignored or mistreated for the whole life, and that's why it cannot do its natural role. Its natural role, and it has been measured and scientifically proven, is to also produce melatonin. And that melatonin that is produced in the gut, in the digestive system, is fueling your whole body, regulating everything else, and helping your ATP to be regulated. And as I said, the hormones of hunger are also one decreased and one increased, so that you don't feel hungry. So when the gut is healthy, these things are happening naturally, especially when you're in a light or liquid diet, because then the digestive tract and the gut system is not cluttered, and it can do its thing. And if you have any, doubts on that the gut system has other functions maybe, or more functions than what we use it for, just think of the saying that people say, I feel it in my gut, or I have a gut intuition. So maybe the gut system has not been built just to digest food, or hasn't been built to digest food at all, and has tried to cope with that function during the past few hundreds of years of our involution, or maybe thousands of years of our involution. But if we go far back in the Lemurian and Atlantean times, where there was no need for so much chewing and swallowing and digesting, and even before that, when we're more advanced as species, There was not necessary for us to take physical food. Our bodies were not as dense. And then our digestive system was doing something else. And by saying this, I ask and demand that this memory is activated in you if you have it in your lifetimes. If you agree, of course. You could type yes in the comments if you agree to remember every encompass that feature, because it's naturally inbuilt in your divine nature and your biocomputer that is your physical body. So what if your digestive system isn't what you thought it is, just a machinery to chop food? What if it's meant to be doing something different and what, or more advanced? And what if by taking care of it and properly cleansing it, first step, and properly balancing it, second step, you would just help it do what it's meant to do? And as I was saying, colon cleanse, parasite cleanse, probiotic um, drinks like kombucha or sauerkraut juice and aloe vera, I'm still learning to say this, are doing the exact thing of balancing your digestive system. That's step number one. We're starting from the physical. Before going into prayer, divine communion, ascended master, let's ground this here and now. So to wrap up, to recap, doing parasite cleanse with the herbs that you find in your local shops, doing colonics, or if you can't do colonics right now because the clinics are closed, maybe you can do the technique that is called Shamprakshalana in the Hindu practice, or easier and more beautiful than that is to just drink sauerkraut juice. 1 or 2 cups, not at the beginning of the day if you can't stay at home. It will be problematic, but make sure you have at least 2 hours to stay at home after you drink it, because you'll be needing to cleanse your colon using the toilet. And just drink that, and that what it does, it cleanses your whole digestive system, but it also increases the level of probiotics. It's a probiotic in itself and one of the strongest, and the vitamin B and many vitamins, and revitalizes your whole system. So that's step number one. Using aloe vera as a daily basis fuel is another step that is very important, at least for a while, to balance back, because it's containing a large quantity of hormones or energy and many nutrients, not nutrients, but something higher than this, which is at the energy level, because in Egypt it was called the immortal fuel. So it rebalances all your energetic aspects, and also the digestive system and the physical body as well. So I've used it as food, in the juice state for quite a long time. Not large quantities, but it's good to have it around. That is the minimum I could say at the physical level. And always check with your body. Is that really necessary to eat that much? Is it really necessary to eat a full meal? Is it really necessary that you put all this stuff together? Or could you go more minimalistic in your food choices and choose 1 or 2 products per meal instead of mixing everything together, which at the informational and digestive level is more difficult for your body to handle. So I know you're expecting me to talk about fasting, but I'm taking it from the base, from the very base, because that's where you always come back to if you're not finalizing or integrating this part of your journey, knowing how to treat your body and how to deal with it and how to purify it. And this process of detoxing at the physical body is necessary to be done several times per year, and constantly. It's not like if you went on prana and you're no longer taking solid food, it's not necessary to do a parasite cleanse from time to time. It is necessary because there's the air, the water, and everything else, that might be taking you back into binging or using products that you don't need just because your parasites want you to. I know it's an interesting concept to encompass, but we are actually having other beings inside our bodies asking us to eat things that we don't want to, like, you know. Um, so physical body, yes, detox is first step. Using plant-based teas and even mixes of juices is also very useful to detox and refresh your body. Like in summer, I always use um, watermelon juice with lemon in mix. That's my food, if we you could call it so. I drink one juice per day or several juices, and sometimes I stop, and just have water. Or so I don't do dry fasting. If you are asking yourself, I'm going to tell you why in just a second. But I do use this as cleansing towards the summer, or even as food right now, as not as food, as fun, more to say. Another thing that you can use is mix of carrot with celery and apple juice. It cleanses your system very deeply. Another thing that you can use is parsley juice. You can add some other fruit to give it a better taste, or parsley tea, boiling parsley and drinking it. It tastes like a soup, but without the salt and the other things, because parsley cleanses up the digestive system and, more importantly, the kidneys. You can even remove kidney stones with that. So working with your physical body, step number one, very important, crucial, and not to be neglected. And to some colleagues of mine, I believe that would be the preparation for a process. For me, it's the actual process, because it's a natural organic journey that is ongoing for several months or even years to some people. Why I don't recommend or put people through dry fasting is because you cannot really monitor the state of their kidneys. And if your kidneys are out of balance and you're going and force yourself with the dry fasting, it's going to get even more imbalance. And that's really very bad for your whole pranic journey and your pranic intake, because the kidneys are the very house of your energy. That's where you store the energy, and it's partially stored all the way through your life. It's stored, some of it is stored for functioning, for your daily tasks and or for everything else, but some of it is also stored for, to be able to exit your spirit at the moment of your death. If you're depleting that energy, you are burnt. And like literally. And I've seen so many people getting out of several or certain processes of certain people with their kidneys and their adrenals quite trashed, because they haven't assessed their kidney health before going into fasting, and especially before going into dry. It might feel good, it might burn the toxins in your cells, it might be doing this and that. I've been going through dry fasting myself for quite a while, and you know now my body naturally stops from taking food, or liquid food or water, if it doesn't need it. So naturally, I have days when I forget to drink water, not because I force myself or impose myself to be in a dry day, but because my body is not needing it. And naturally, I'm not taking any water. It would seem heavy. And I had times when, at the beginning of my journey, when if I took water in a day like this, I would have pain in my neck, really, and tension in my whole body by trying to force water or forcing something external into my body, because the body was in such high state and amrita flowing in and so on, that you couldn't pollute it with something external in that state. In normal state, it's not pollution, it's balancing the energy that you need. But in that state, you don't need anything. So that's why I'm not taking anything when I'm in that flow. and naturally continuing for as long as I feel is necessary. And then when I'm feeling that is necessary to take liquids, I'm naturally going back into that, but never questioning and never forcing. That's my path. It's a take it or leave it way. I'm not forcing everyone to go through it. You can go into dry fast if you wish, even through this process. If you feel like dry fasting is useful for you, you can do 1 or 2 days just to kick your pranic state in, or to kick in that state of, okay, now I'm in a disciplined mode and I'm detoxing myself. But always, before going into any process, check your kidneys first if you're meant or intending to stop taking liquids. It's crucial, and if you're not fully in the pranic flow and not fully in that state of harmony, dry fast is gonna, if not kill you, at least deplete your body severely. And there's many people that don't even realize that they're having that issue until we talk and until we energy test them for that. You go to the hospital. Somebody asked me, how do we assess kidneys and adrenals? You check in your hospital, in the hospital. You check for kidney health periodically. It's important. Or check with somebody that is, able to, that you trust and is able to assess you at the energy level. But even so, I would still check with the machinery that is able to confirm that. It's very important. It's the storage, the deposit of your life energy. So if you screw with that up, bye-bye. Your life is, you're not dying, for a while, for some years even, but you're not able to function properly. And from direct experience and from seeing so many people in that situation, I'm just warning everyone about dry fasting, about being, cautious and really checking before doing it. It's just important. And when you are in the flow, and your body knows, and your body tells you what to do. And if you feel any tension, you just not push through it and hope for it to disappear. It's your body telling you to stop, and that it's time for you to maybe, and not necessarily stop, but really, for example, when you're in a fasting mode, yes, and you wake up one morning feeling hungry, and you're thinking to get into your fridge instead of continuing to fast, you might notice that after you do some exercise like breath work or yoga or meditation, you're no longer feeling that. It might be something that you came with from your night journeys in the astral realm. Maybe you got depleted in your journeys or lowered your state a little bit. It even happens to me sometimes, but I always check, like, am I really hungry? I don't feel hungry. I feel like some discomfort. But after checking and after doing some practice that I do every morning when I wake up, I feel myself being back in balance again, and I can't think of taking food or taking something in that day. So practice is what helps you back in balance with whatever it is that you're feeling. Um, and that requires, like I said, staying connected, staying in tune, checking with yourself. And tonight, the first method that we're going to share with you, we shared briefly about meditation yesterday, and we all know how to do that. So maybe we'll insert more details through the next webinars, but I don't feel to really explain what it is. Tonight, what we're going to do is we're going to have a way of testing and checking how to check our pranic percentage on all levels, physical, emotional, mental, how to check our chakras to see what amount of prana they receive or percentage of prana they receive, and how to always be in contact with that source that is checking, or that is helping us check or get the answers. So that's the technique we shared, or the practice we shared tonight. It's called the breath test. We're going to do shortly a beautiful meditation and include the breath test in it so that you can use it through your life with pranic and the food transitions, and with everything else that you want to check as well. Because like I said, this is not only about food and not food, is much deeper than this. It's about staying connected. Let me know in your comments if you resonate with what I'm saying so far. Is it good for you? Is it useful? Is it beneficial? Is it, I see that you are. So I remember in a hypnotic regression, a state when I operated on only on intent and through the heart, and through telepathy creating a world. Yes, 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 yes. Yes, I share similar memories. And as Adam was saying earlier, it's not um, randomly that we meet in these gatherings. You've seen, Heather, how all flowing, all um, natural connecting that is. Let's see if I can do this. I want to share the link with some other person. And yes, because we have similar memories is why we meet, I believe. So let's get back into that connection state. Let's go deeper into feeling connected. Let's go deeper into feeling in communion. Let's go deeper into reassessing that. To some, meditation and centering works. To others, when, especially when they're at the beginning of the journey, even common prayer is something that could be utilized. You know, when I was at the beginning, I was really sometimes unable to feel to tame my mind, and whatever meditation I was doing, right after my mind was kicking back in and rambling for the whole day, which was boring for me. So eventually what I've learned is that prayer helps. Sometimes I just prayed for my energy body to be harmoniously calibrated so that I can be at peace. Sometimes I would literally read prayers from prayer books, you know, that was connecting to Mother Mary at that time, that would help me keep my mind in focused on something that is useful, you know, focusing on Mother Mary's energy or on Kuan Yin's energy, not it's not far-fetched that we're connecting them tonight, was helping me not only tame my mind, but also stay connected to that energy of compassion, of feminine flow, of inner goddess energy that was keeping me in balance and helping me also get guidance. So it is then 10 years ago that I felt guided to start working with women and children more, to start creating programs for children in schools, to start having workshops for couple balance, and that also had to do with energy balance. To really have this constant connection enhanced more and more. I was, of course, not doubting that guidance, and not doubting it was also helping me receive more of it. So what I suggest is that we we stay focus, receive our guidance, and when we receive it, follow it. If you discard what you're receiving, if you say, oh no, that's not something I want to focus on, or this can't be true, or this and that, it is then you lose your connection. It is then that the light beings, or source force that's working with you is actually going like, oh, she's not interested, or he's not interested, let's just drop it, he's not hearing us at the moment. And you're blocking your own channels just by discarding or neglecting or not following the guidance that you've received. It's also important to know what sources you're connected to. What is the source that is guiding you? Is it the highest possible, or is it something in between, or of a low energy? It's important that you assess and request and dial in the level of connection that is best for you. Like we ask now for this meditation, and that's the way to do it. I'm just telling you how to do it right now. We ask now for this meditation and for our daily lives as well. We ask and command that only the beings of the purest light and love can be connecting to us energetically and telepathically. Only the beings of the purest light and love can be connecting to us energetically and telepathically. Only the beings of the purest light and love can be connecting to us energetically and telepathically. We ask that, it is done, it is done, it is done, and so it is. And this way of choosing, like you dial in the frequency that you want to be connected with, and you only want to be connected with the beings of the purest light and love that are for your highest good. It's setting your frequency on that level and helping you on that level. Otherwise, there's many other sources or beings that would want to connect with you, would want to share information, would want to share their perspective of what reality is, same as in the human plane, and not always is the highest. So you might get the same as in the human plane, you might get fooled or delayed or distracted by sources of communion that are not beneficial to you. So by asking that and assessing that only the beings of the purest light and love can connect with you energetically and telepathically at the beginning of any meditation and at the beginning of any day, you set your dial on the frequency that is most beneficial for you to attract this type of guidance. So that's the first step, the first rule of communion. And then keeping your vibration high is another rule that connects you to the best and highest ascended masters that you resonate with. And having a clean body, a clean mind, and clean emotional field is keeping you there, and it's keeping you tuned in to the vibration of prana. So as I said, and as I want to now sum up, pranic journey is not about pushing yourself to the direction of being pranic. It is about fine-tuning yourself, dialing up your frequency to the resonance of prana that is then naturally magnetized, more and more and more of it into your field, so that it nourishes you at all levels. Until you raise your frequency at all levels, that can't be permanently magnetized to you, and it's still areas where you feel you lack it. So That's why we're recommending a daily lifestyle, daily practice, daily um, focus on spirit and center of your being that is keeping you dulled into that frequency, so that you don't lose connection, you don't lose harmony when you get back home from a retreat, you don't lose your pace with pranic nourishment when you're with other people that are eating, because you stay connected. You're dialed in that frequency that is beautiful and light. And yes, you can still taste something with them, there's no problem. But the place that you're doing it from, which to some is a place of need and to others is a place of joy, the place that you're doing it from makes the difference. Okay, so now that I've shared and kind of assessed the main aspects of how to stay connected, let's just exemplify it or practice it before any words, because the practice is the best example and the best way of understanding things or incorporating things. Deep breath in. We're going into deeper meditation now. We've asked that only the beings of the purest light and love can be present energetically and telepathically with us now. Only the beings of the purest light and love can be present energetically and telepathically with us now. Only the beings of the purest light and love can be present energetically and telepathically with us now. Those of you who are online now, can you type your names in the comments, please? I see some people joining in. Please type your names and countries in the comments, if you will. That would be very nice of you before going deeper into meditation. So we've already seen Heather, and who else is in? Do you still, you just type yes if you hear me. Yes, I see you, Heather. Thank you for being here. Canada, oh wow. Who else is here? Tell us. So we ask that only the beings of the purest light and love can be present energetically and telepathically with us now. I would love to know, because there's people that have joined and would love to know the class and would love to know who's in tonight, especially. Deeper breath in. You feel that you're in light column from the center of the universe to the center of the earth. Breathing deeper through this light column. Bringing more energy, more chi into your body. Stabilizing in your field deeper and deeper. With every breath, you bring more energy into your body now. And with every exhale, you release the worries, the tensions, the concerns, and everything that doesn't serve you. And I'm happy that I'm seeing more and more people joining in and feeling you in the field, and would be happy to know your names and locations. And as we take deeper breaths in, we ask that only the beings of the purest light and love can be present energetically and telepathically with us now. Deeper breath in. We feel ourselves opening to receive more of this energy now. We feel it going through our bodies, fully opening our channels, releasing the energies that were ready to release, cleansing the areas that were ready to cleanse, in the best, most beneficial way for each one of us now. Deeper breath in. We feel again that we're feeling this energy opening up even more, our heart chakra. And we feel the whole body relaxing. We feel the soles of the feet relaxing, surrounded by light. The ankles, the calves, the knees, the thighs are relaxing, the hips, lower back, upper back, chest, arms fully relaxing, neck, all the way to the top of your head, fully relaxing. Deeper breath in, we're fully relaxed now into our bodies, and we feel that we have this connection cable that comes from the center of the universe, from the heart of the central sun down into our bodies. We feel how it comes down through our crown chakra, opening our crown, then down through the center of our head, pituitary and pineal glands, and the neck, the thyroid gland, and down into your chest, stimulating your thymus to produce more and more aspects of your immune system, to strengthen your immune system now, as it's stimulated by this light, this prana, this flow coming in into your heart. And the heart chakra is regulating the thymus gland. The more love you feel, the more immunity you have. The more compassion you feel, the stronger your health field is. The more kindness you feel, the stronger your cells are, so that they don't get any virus. Deeper and deeper. Centering in your heart, you receive more of this energy into your heart. Feel your heart chakra expand with every inhale, receiving this energy fully into your heart. And at the exhale, you exhale it into your cells, into your internal organs, into all your physical systems that get nourished now, into your auric field and out into the universe. Another deep breath in, and more of this energy comes into your heart, fueling the sphere of light in the center of your chest. And deep breath out, you let it flow into the organs, the internal organs, your whole physical systems, your auric field, and out into the universe. And last but not least, you focus how it flows into your feet. You feel it flowing through both your feet, to the soles of your feet, deeply flowing into them. You feel the soles of your feet opening, and the roots are coming out from the soles of the feet, coming into your earth chakra, and from your earth chakra coming down to the center of the earth. And as you connect to the center of the earth, you feel or sense or imagine or realize that you're connecting to the heart of Gaia, the sun in the center of the earth. That is the heart of Gaia. You feel that the heart of Gaia is also opening up to receive your love, and is sending back love right back at you. mixed with the energy of compassion and kindness and sweet femininity that this beautiful spirit has, that is now flowing up through the soles of your feet, the ankles, the calves, the knees, the thighs, opening up all your channels to the hips, lower back, upper back, chest, arms, fully present, flowing up through your neck and to the top of your head. And as it goes through the top of your head, it springs out like a fountain in a toroidal system around you, forming a sphere. And the sphere is your bubble. It protects from any elements, any Wi-Fi radiations, things that are not serving you, things that are not beneficial for you, things that you cannot handle, thought forms. And it helps you embody your physical, your divine aspect in your physical body. Keeping that sphere around you and keeping that light column from the center of the universe to the center of the earth, you center back into your heart. Being fully present in your body now. You're fully present, like a hand within a glove. In the feet, the ankles, the calves, you're fully present in the knees, the thighs. You feel tingles maybe as you get back into your body, like a hand within a glove. In the abdomen, lower back, upper back, chest. Feel your energy body filling your physical body like a hand within a glove. Neck, back of the head, mouth, eyeballs, forehead, top of the head, fully present in your body. To the tips of your hairs, you're fully present here now. And if in the state of full presence in your body, start centering in your heart even more. And breathing through your heart, focusing on breath fully. And as you focus on your breath, you start making an affirmation in your mind that you know for sure is true. It's not an abstract affirmation, it's something clear that you can see. And you repeat this true affirmation for yourself. And while you do so, watch what your body does. Your breath. Another deep breath in, saying the same affirmation. See what your breath does. Now you let your breath flow naturally. You don't push it to be deep, you just let it. And making the affirmation. See what your breath does. And the next step is to say an affirmation that you know for sure is false. And repeat it in your mind following the breath. See what your breath does with the false affirmation. Back into your hearts. You might have seen with the breath a difference between the yes and the no, and the way your breath was reacting. Can you tell us in the comments? Can you type yes if there was a difference between the two states? So remember how you felt when the affirmation was true and how it felt with your breath when the affirmation was false. And if there was a difference between the two states in your breath, can you type yes in the comments to see if you've got it? If you've got the difference between the two? Yes, no, maybe no, yes. What do you feel? The same tool can be used for anything that we want to know about ourselves. I'm going to repeat about ourselves so that you know that you cannot make this test to learn, to intrude in other people's life. The breath test is only for truth about yourself. So if there was a difference between the false affirmation and the true affirmation, as you learn to practice with it more and more, you can do affirmations for anything in your life. One affirmation would be, and it will help you check your pranic percentage. One affirmation would be, we can check together and see what your breath does. Stay centered in your heart. One affirmation would be, my body is nourished by prana in a percentage of 60%. My body is nourished by prana now in a percentage of 70%. If you got a specific rhythm with the false and true affirmation, and if you've got a true affirmation for 60%, a reaction to the true affirmation, let's go to 70%. And you say again, my body is nourished by prana in a percentage of 70%. And you can see that you've seen the difference already when I was saying the first test. And now you can see when your body is reacting as if it was yes, and when your body was reacting as if it was no. And if you stopped at 70%, if your body is giving you the reaction for no, then that's your pranic percentage. If you haven't stopped at the 70%, and if you feel that the answer might be different, you ask again, or affirm again, my body is nourished by prana in a percentage of 80%. Checking with your breath. My body is nourished by prana in a percentage of 80%. And if you got an yes, if your breath has expanded, because you've noticed that for yes, you have an expansion, and for no, something contracts, either your breath or your organs or your respiratory tract. Another next step is my body is nourished by prana in a percentage of 90%. 90%. My body is being nourished by prana in a percentage of 90%. And if you got a yes, if you got a no, of course you stop, or maybe you've stopped the other conferences. My body is nourished by prana in a percentage of 100% now. You check for 100% if you got a yes to all the others. If you got a no, then you know the percentage you've stopped at, maybe 70, maybe 80, maybe 60, maybe you want to start from 50 even. In some bad days, you can go below 50. But most of people are at least 50% now, which means that most of people would be ready to drop 50% of their food instantly because they don't need it. And the people that are 60 or 70%, they could drop 60 or 70% of their food. And those who are 80 drops 80% of their food and only eat 20% of what they were eating. Not the rest of the food you're eating, not necessarily. It's just cluttering your body. And the ones that are 90%, of course, they're 90% nourished by prana, so they only need 10% of what they were eating. And the rest is provided already. So can you type your percentages in the comments? I'm curious if you got any results and how it worked for you. And with that, we are closing this meeting. I hope you had useful answers for this evening, and meeting the other evening at 8 p.m. So to recap about the pranic process, the test, the breath test, the thing is like this: when you say the affirmation, my body is nourished by prana, is being nourished by prana in a percentage of 80%. You check your body percentage. That is, I don't see anybody comments, but yours also. That's what is confusing a bit. Some are commenting on the WhatsApp, which again is not so easy for me because I have to concentrate on 2 streams already. And if you're giving me messages on 2 other streams, it's a leap of focus to be able to do this workshop. Please help me at commenting everyone in the same page. It would be fantastic if I would only have to look at the YouTube page for this webinar. So yeah, I have comments on WhatsApp too. That's why you're not seeing them. Why people are not commenting on YouTube? Let's see. Did you get the pranic, the breath test? Is it easy or hard for you to do it? Did you see any difference in your breathing? Was it different for yes and different for no? The point is, with the breath test, most people feel a difference in their breath. So they feel that the breath is expanding, or the lungs, even the lungs area is expanding when the answer is yes, and they're contracting when the answer is no. Or the breath is interrupted, or it's more agitated when the answer is no. So that's the difference that most of you are feeling with this test. Some other just feel contraction in the solar plexus or in the heart area when the answer is no, which is also a good way to use the breath test, because with the breath you regulate and stay inside or stay centered. The way you can use it to ask anything is by making an affirmation. The affirmation for pranic checking is, my physical body is nourished by prana in a percentage of, and you start from 50% and you go up to 100. And you check for each of your bodies, the physical body, the emotional body, the mental body, and so on. Also, you can make the same affirmation for each chakra. My root chakra is now nourished by prana in a percentage of 50%. And you see what your breath does. If it's yes, you go to 60 to 70 to 80 and to 100%. And if it's no, then for the root especially, the rest of the percentage, say if you're 80, you must take 20% food. Otherwise, your body will be constantly depleted. And with daily practice, your percentage might be increasing, so that one day you were at 80%, and the next day you could be at 95, and you only eat 5% of the food you were intaking before. Actually, that's what I was sharing that you can increase your percentage and, and lose your hunger. You wake up in the morning thinking of food, do some practice like Qigong, yoga, or breath work or meditation, and after it, you're not feeling that craving anymore. Just because you've raised your frequency, you've raised your pranic percentage. But it's always good to check, and especially while fasting or detoxing. Very, very good. How many of you here do want to go through juices as detox time all the way through this 8 days? And how many of you want to stay on some little vegan food and some juices? The only thing that we do recommend, so we're not insisting on fasting, and that's surprising to many. We're not insisting on you depleting yourself. We are insisting on daily meditation and on daily juices. So wherever you are with your diet, start the day with your juice, whether it's fruit or vegetables, and see if after you need anything else. Don't go into binging, don't go into habitual eating, and certainly during this detox, do not eat the things you were eating before that is not for your highest good, that you know that are not beneficial for you. Do not touch those. Try for 8 days to only be in juices and healthy if you need healthy vegan food. If you're at 80%, we're not pushing you to fast 20% of your body depleting. You just go through 20% food, but mind your food so that it's toxin free. Try to take raw, organic fruits and vegetables, and just what you can do to give even more ease to your body. Let's say if you're vegan, you would do salads, yeah, or mix of fruits. Instead of chewing and digesting them, you could put them into your blender. If they're fruits, with some water. If they're vegetables, you could add some sauerkraut juice. It's even more amplifying their qualities of detox, and drink your food instead of eating it. At least for 8 days or 7 days, that are 6 days from now on. At least for that amount of time, try to drink your food instead of eating it. Beware that you're not losing nutrients or vitamins or anything else, because it's the same thing but blended. The difference, instead of chewing and digesting, is that you're giving your digestive system a break, you're giving your gut a break, and while you're doing the parasite detox that I was recommending, and maybe sauerkraut juice at the end of your day, or aloe vera, you're giving your body a break from having to process all that solid food. And you're only drinking your food instead of eating it. That would be a great thing to do. So we're not intending to starve yourselves or put you into fasting. We're just saying go more into drinking your food instead of chewing it, at least for 8 days, and choose healthy, organic things at least for 8 days, just to see how it feels. And after that, you can decide if you want to keep going with it. You might decide to keep going. So many people have in the processes that we had before. So see what happens. And also it's very good for social, activities, for social sharing, especially if you're at home with your family. It doesn't create separation with your family, putting yourself either on a pedestal or in a high isolation from their table. You're just explaining them that you take just as many nutrients as before, but in a blended state. And if they ask, you can tell that you're doing a detox. And that's understood for most of the people. And it's easier to navigate through living with someone when you do that, because they won't get scared and they won't imprint you with the worry energy that would be hard to process. Yes? So that's what we recommend you through this process. Instead of going into fasting, Follow your body. If it needs to fast, if it needs to stop eating or drinking, do it for 1, for 2, for 8 days, for how many days you feel. But if you're going through the mind and saying, now I'm going to be fasting and I want to do this and that, you're again pushing yourself to the limit, and this is not what we want here. We would recommend you to transition into liquid food and blending it, and then that, as you work with energy more and more and with the methods and meditations that we describe and offer here, you'll naturally even decrease your juice quantity. You'll naturally even decrease your liquid food quantity. Naturally, you'll feel that you don't need just as much. So that's what we can start with. And if anyone goes on fasting, you just let us know how it works. So with the breath test, I hope you are clear on how it works. You can check your percentage, but then again, you can check also many other things. Only if you're centered in your heart and you're connected. So you don't just start asking. Before you ask anything or make the affirmation, you start to follow your breath, you center in your heart, you remember your light column, and then you make the affirmation and wait for the answer from your breath. Otherwise, your mind will push your breath and the result will not be accurate. Just stay centered in your heart through the breath test and through all your life, and that's keeping you connected. And it's a very powerful tool that comes from the Christed one, this breath test, and it's not to be taken lightly in terms of it's not to be, neglected. It's a very powerful ancient spiritual tool that is actually helping you to stay permanently connected to your divine self, because it is your divine self that is regulating your breath with the yes and the no, because your divine self is knowing everything and it's already knowing the answers to all your questions. So constantly checking things with your breath test, it helps you constantly dialogue with yourself, with your divine self. How you can use it for other things except for testing percentages, you make the affirmation. For example, you want to go to the market now and you want to check if it's okay to go now. You say, it is beneficial for me to go out to the market now. Staying centered, see what your breath does, and that would be clear to you. You always use it is beneficial for me to what you want to do, and because the yes and the no is meant to be for your benefit and is not just to be an informative test. Yes, what is it for my benefit? What is for me best to do? So as being a sacred tool, this breath test that is very precious and is helping you to stay connected, you treat it with respect, with consideration. Don't just go asking about whether your lover is having, um, bad thoughts about you. Don't ask about things that are, invading everyone's somebody else's privacy or not regarding you, so much. So try to stick to the things that are important. Take it with and do it with minor things at the beginning, and check constantly whether you should eat that apple, whether you should go to the market, whether you should play that video and listen to it all, or whatever it is that you know want to do. Just check with your breath test before, so that you no longer do random actions, but you actually do something that is in your spirit's harmonious advice. Any questions? I'm just closing in some seconds now. Do you have any questions or suggestions? I have somebody here saying, what was the name of the other practice that you mentioned? Sauerkraut. Before sauerkraut, I mentioned Shamprakshalana. It's a yogic tradition. It's a yogi thing. It implies drinking large quantities of salted water that purifies your system and makes you go to the bathroom a little more often that day until your column is fully clear. sauerkraut is working better, tasting better, and it has a bunch of vitamins and minerals that you want to include in your system. Plus, it regulates your gut bacteria, which is why I recommend it instead of Champrakshalana. And it's still salted liquid. Yeah. So Champrakshalana is too tough. Sometimes it's making you vomit. I tried it all. I'm giving you the mildest and most efficient. So yeah, sauerkraut you can order online. There was somebody in my in the other process that has found a very good resource for sauerkraut. If you need, I can post the link here in the comments for you to also have it. If you're interested in that? For those of you who are in Romania, it's found in the local market in bottles, and it's very cheap and good quality. No additional unhealthy stuff in it. That's what I'm using. Okay, so I'm looking for the link in case I found it, in case I find it for the sauerkraut thing. And with that, I'm wishing you all a very, very happy night. Here it's 11 p.m., so I should really get some rest. And tomorrow, for those of you who are in the Pranic Festival online, we have Tian Yang with her beautiful Qigong. And for those of you who are in the and at 7 p.m. at 5 p.m. Bucharest time is Tianyang, and at 7 or at 8 p.m. we're doing the process. We have enough time to enjoy between the sessions. So I'm not really finding the sauerkraut link right now, and I just found it. So yeah, that's how it works. When you release and let go, it is that you find what you need. Ta-da! The universe is user-friendly. There you are, the link for sauerkraut. Anyone else wanting to add or ask anything? Who is in this call? I see 4 people. Yeah, it's Heather, is your notes. Who else is here? Can you tell me, please? Maybe somebody does not have access to comments or don't know how to use them. Tal, if you're in, can you type on yes on maybe WhatsApp? I'm curious. Or who else could be here? I'm curious to know. But anyway, I'll find out after because they're gonna announce me. Big hugs to all. Thank you for being here. Sending you much love. You're gonna have the YouTube link. Keep the YouTube link as part of your recorded process so that you can watch it again. And if you have any questions, just feel free to ask tomorrow. Tonight, I'm off and bye-bye. See you soon.